Hello Internet! Hey, it's Mike with 143. So today we have a question in the group that's really fun and interesting. It's about this New Kids on the Block 1988 logo. And so I'm just assuming you're going to use this for personal use. But lady says she needs it and she wants to make this design, I guess. And so, this font does not exist. There's not a font where you can just type this out. And this is discussed on DeFont, actually. There's a whole group page, people talking about, hello, I'm trying to find this, but it's not something that you're going to find. But I did go to this page in the forum on DeFont and just downloaded this image because it was nice and clean. So if you right click on the image and say open image in new tab, then you're going to get the image like this. And then you can just right click and save this as. Okay, so I'm just going to pop over to Inkscape and I'm going to find that downloaded file that I've got. And I'm just going to pull that right on in here and embed it. And then I want to get my document sized up. So I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm just giving myself a little bit of space around the edges there. And I'm just putting a black square there. And then I'm going to hit Control-Shift-R, and that's going to fit my stage to that object. And see, it's just a little outside the bounds there. Now I'm going to select the image, and I'm going to take the opacity of that down. I'm in the Fill and Stroke panel, and I'm going to take the opacity way down. Like I just want to have that as a background so that I can see what I'm doing. So I think that this is Arial. This font is basically just Arial, and it's just been modified. And you can kind of see the way it's been modified. It's pretty, easy to spot. So I'm going to start out with, if you have Arial, you should have different types. I'm going to start out with bold condensed and see how that lines up. So I've got my text tool, just select the text tool on the side here and then just type out the letters. So I've just typed new and I'm going to do a space and then kids. And that's pretty close. So let's make this easier for us to see. With that selected, let's go over here to our Fill and Stroke panel. And this gives me some bugs sometimes. I've got to click off of it and then click back on it. And then I'm going to take this all the way up on that opacity. And it looks like they're all kind of kicked just a slight bit, like it's going up at this angle. And so I'm just going to try to mimic that while I have this in this mode. So I'm just trying to, I'm going to stretch it. I'm just trying to kind of get close to what's there and see if I can at least follow that angle, because that's something I want to do before I start messing with this at all. All right, and so then this next part, it looks like a mixture of bold, condensed, and maybe just regular bold. So I'm just going to do O-N and then T-H-E. But let's try switching this to maybe even heavy. Yeah, I actually think that is heavy. So I'll just slide that in here. And let's just look at our overall sizing and spacing. I mean, it's pretty close. I'm using Control to slide this perfectly along, and I'm seeing that that's pretty close to where it's supposed to be based on the background there. Okay, and we'll just stay with that same heavy and do this part. So we'll just type block. So, not exact, but it's close, and that's all we need. All right. So now I'm going to select all of these and just do path object to path. So that's changing it from a text object and into an actual path. So now there's editable points on the path. Okay, and now I'm actually going to break them all apart. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-K. Make sure they're all selected again. Control-Shift-K. And now they're all individual letters. And you kind of learn these things as you go. And by learn, I don't mean learn what I'm showing you. I mean learn, different techniques. And, I'm holding shift here. But learning in a particular image is what I'm really talking about. So, I might go forward on this a little bit and then discover things that I wish I had done in different operational steps, and then go back and do those that way, later. So, yeah, I actually just joined all those and I didn't want to. So I'm talking instead of paying attention. So I'm hitting Control K. I'm holding Shift. I need to deselect first. Deselect everything. Hold Shift. Drag it around the things you want to join. So I'm hitting Control K because it separated those individual little pieces from the centers. And so now all of that, those are all individual letters. And if you wanted to, you could go through here and name these. And I kind of like doing things like that. It just keeps me organized, but I'm going to let it go this time. All right, and then we're going to just take this image and I'm actually going to lock it. And that way I can still see it. This eyeball controls the visibility, but the lock will keep me from selecting it accidentally as I'm working and just probably make my life easier. All right, I'm just going to zoom in and kind of start dealing with these individual letters. And I'm going to go quickly and I'm not going to be very precise. And I'm just warning you about that because, this is not something that it's going to be really lots of fun to watch. So I'm just going to kind of get rough and dirty and show you how to do this quick and easy and not be like extremely anal about, how it's done. Okay. So I'm just going to get in close and I'm just going to select my path tool. And I'm just going to do things like hold Control as I make changes. So I'm just going to, this time I'm not, I'm just going to go freeform it. We'll just place it right here. And we'll just take that there. I'm holding Control, which is kind of helping things stay in the same plane. So if I need something to slide perfectly along, I'm going to just hold Control. And, if I want to select two of these and move them at the same time, we can definitely do that. And you can also, Control Z is your friend. So you can move things around and try to see if it's right. And then hit Control Z. That looks like it's pretty close. All right, so let's just grab both of these and just see where they need to be. So something like right there for that side, and then right here for this side. So just, let's just go quick. Okay, and so you can probably already tell how most of this is going to go. Like you're just going to take this letter and get it close with the scaling tools in object mode, and then you're going to go, it'd be nice to actually see through this. Let's do that. Let's change this fill. Let's do it to all of them. So we're zooming out with the minus key. I'm going to grab all of them and change the fill, and we'll change it to like a bright red, and then we'll make this have a lowered opacity, and that way I won't have to be pulling things out of the way to see where the back, I can see through the letter now. And I might actually unlock that image and just take that opacity up a little bit on that back side. All right, cool. All right, so we're just going to grab these. If you want to move things as a piece, grab all of them. And just hold Control and slide them over. And then just, fit it close. So you want to just use like different techniques to make things like easy at times and look straight and even. And then other times, once you get things close, you just want to kind of freeform it. That way you're not doing too much freeforming on your own and it won't look too wonky. But this is kind of the whole point is we're making this non-standard. So we'll just grab that. I think that's going to be somewhat close. Yeah, see, this is what I mean about learning the image, right? So this one probably needed to be the bold. And so what we could do is we could just retype this one. I could just click again and type W and see if that works out better. If I'm holding Control and I shouldn't have been. I'm going to Control Z that change. Let's see if that actually lines up a lot better. Yeah, it sure does. Okay, and so then we'll just hit Control K on that to turn that into a path, and then we'll delete this one. And I think we might have to tilt this. I'm not sure. Just place it there in the corner, stretch it out, get it close, and then make your tweaks. So we'll just take this and drag it here. Just hit these points. And, I'm sure what you're thinking too is that it would be easy to just actually trace this. And you're absolutely right. And I'm really just kind of showing you a different way to go about something like that than what I normally do. So there we have that. Let's find our K. I'm dragging it over. And I'm just gonna make it, this is the boring part, right? We're just gonna sit here and do this. And if I want to keep this line straight and I want to keep it straight with these, I'm just gonna move those together. And I'm trying to remind myself to do it quick and easy and not obsess. We just want to get close. You can take all the time in the world when you're doing this. Grab this, and I'm holding control. Oops, I needed to click off. This is super easy. Trying to select both those points. I'm holding shift. Yep, getting close, Mike. Just let it go. All right. And then this looks like it's been stretched way out. And we'll find out how that works, how that goes. Yeah, see, that's actually making most of that curve there. So that's pretty good. So let's just make it close to that curve, because the hard thing to match would be this over here. And we'll just get it kind of close to that, closer. And then we will take these points and move them. So we're just going to grab all of this. Oops, I don't know what it's doing to me there. It's kind of fighting me. And then we will take these. There's different ways you can transform points. So you can select them like that and then just kind of squish them all together. And that's definitely the right move there. And just try to line that up. And then we'll take these points and we'll just kind of hit that corner. And just let that go. Doom. Alright, and then you can grab these and just pull it down. Yeah, let it go, Mike. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at just letting it not be perfect. But that's what we're doing. Alright. And then this S, let's look at how we can do this S. So let's first kind of get it close. We're just moving it to where it's just about right. And then what we can do is we can flatten some of these points off. So let's just grab our tool. And I'm just going to grab a rectangle and just place it right there. And while I've got the rectangle tool, I'll place another one right here. Something like that. And then this S is going to be harder than the others. We'll just select this, and I'm going to do path, object to path, and I'm going to hit Control K to combine them, and then hit the S, and I'm just going to do path. I always struggle with this. Let's try exclusion. That's not what I want this time. So I hit Control Z. Let's do path difference. All right, and that's got some semblance of what we need. And then what we can do is we can move these points around just to be a little bit closer. And I'm just not going to be obsessive about it. I'm not saying that for your all sake. I'm saying all those little comments for my own sake. And I'll use things like auto smooth nodes, to kind of help me place these. So I'm just selecting these nodes and making them auto smooth. And that'll just kind of keep me from having to tweak all the nodes around the path. I can just kind of, place this roughly, and then the auto smooth node will kind of fill in the blank for me, as you can see it doing. I might have just want all these to auto smooth. We'll just take that. For curves, that's the hardest thing, to try to match, and you can spend way too much time trying to perfect a curve. So you just try to find little tricks, something that'll make it easy. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty close. And then we'll just nail this. We'll bring that guy in. And then we'll do our auto smooth trick on these. So I'm just going to select all of these and hit auto smooth at once. And then I can just drag them into place. So I just want to click off and select one, pull it in. See, this one I should not have necessarily done that. So just by moving the handles, it reverts it back to being a regular node. And that's what you just saw happen there. We'll just grab these, pull them in, pull them in, pull them around, pull it down. All right, yep, that's plenty on that. And then we're gonna do this O. So that looks really squished. Yeah, this one's gonna be trickier. And it's cut off on the top and it's kicked. So we'll just kind of get our O to be close to that. And then we'll adjust it. So we're just gonna grab these. I'm gonna turn all these to auto smooth. And then I'm also gonna just try to select them. I'll shift select that one to get it out of there. And then just try to pull it. I'm holding control and shift. And it's kind of doing that smoothly. And then I'm just using the arrow keys to adjust things down. Pull this down. And this is what you get if you don't auto smooth. You've got to sit here and manually move the handles, which is not like the worst thing in the world. You can turn them and make them symmetrical at least. But that's the kind of the result of not using the auto smooth. You're going to have to just position them, and you will get more precise results that way. So, not a bad thing at all. Boop, boop, boop. Just making those nodes symmetrical so that when I move one side of the handle, the other side moves as well. All right, we can pull this handle out. So we're getting pretty close here. And then what we could do, I'll show you another way to cut this off. We could just add a node. And then we can make this this node corner, and then we could hit hold control and click the handles, and you'll get rid of the handles. You know, that's what that does. And so we'll do the same thing on this side, and we will just add a node, make it corner, hold control, click the handles, click off of it, so we deselect, click here. Then we can probably just delete this node. Delete. And what that's done is made those handles kind of form automatically. So I just control click those to get them to stop. Get them to go away. All right. Yep. Not perfect. That's what we're doing here. We're just going rough and tumble. Okay. So now we've got this in. Let's just pull him over. Let's grab this thing and pull it just about right. Slide this over. I'm sliding this straight down. I'm holding control, and that's how I'm making those precise movements. And then that time I just let go of control and just did it. So control. All right, I'm using middle mouse button to move around the document. And now I'm going to hold control and slide this over and get it just about where it needs to be. I'm scooting it down slightly. I'm going to pull it up slightly. And I'm going to hold shift and pull it in. And then the only things I need to really tweak, it looks like, are these. So I'll hold control and hold control close enough. And then we'll grab this H, hold control and slide it over. And then we'll grab this. So let me talk while I'm doing this about how you would make other letters. Like, say you needed to type in the New Kids on the Block font. Well, you can make each one of these letters, and then you've got that part of the font done. And then the next thing is you could just look at each one of these styles that they used, you know, the decisions that the other designer made, and then you could literally just make those same decisions for yourself, like, or, you know, for each letter. So if it's like an A, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to make my A's like real chunky and, you know, kicked a little bit. You know, that's just the you just kind of can, I would make these letters, I would make the alphabets, and then I would, adjust and kind of make the other letters that I needed to be in the same style. If I wanted to type, and then still you'd be assembling the note, you'd be assembling the text ransom note style. That's what my brain was about to say. You would be making it, like a ransom note, because you'd be, adjusting each one of the individual things. Okay, so like here, you can click here and then you can hit Control A, and then you can hold Control Shift, which will make it scale evenly and get it close. And then we're going to click off to deselect. I don't know if there's a key for deselect. I just thought of that. And then I'm going to hold Shift and select this. And then I'm going to pull this over. And if I want these two to be identical, then I'm just going to delete this one. I'm going to select there, hit Control A, and hit Delete. And then I can select this piece, Control C, Control Alt V, paste in place, and then I just use my mouse keys to scoot that down. And I see that to follow the original, I actually need to change it somewhat, but at least they're the same on both sides, because I had to make those same tweaks to do both things. And so you saw how I did that. I just kind of lined up the outside and then fixed the inner. And all of that definitely comes just with time. Doing these sorts of things, it's really easy, but just over time you realize what's going to make things simple and what's going to make things easy, and you save yourself a little bit of work. All right, don't obsess, Mike. Stop it. All right, and then we'll take this O and we will kick it. So I'm clicking once to select it, clicking again to get the rotation handles up, and I'm going to rotate it. But I'm actually going to stretch it first, and I just made that decision as I started doing the rotating. So I don't want to scale it consistently. I want to stretch it, because that's what we see there. And then click it again, and I'm going to rotate it. And I'm holding Control, and it's locking to an axis, and I'm getting little individual increments there, but that's not what's working. So I'm just going to take this and kind of stretch it close. Yep, remind yourself often that you're just trying to get close. So I'm going to select there and hit Control A, and we'll hold Shift and scale these. And see, this is the kind of moment where you want to like tilt it again. So let's just make it back straight, or fairly, straight, so it stays consistent. And then we'll just click here and Control A, and then I'll stretch this out to be more like that shape. But I should have held Shift. And so I hit Shift halfway through, and it started doing it for me. And that's just better to tilt it. And that's kind of what I meant about learning the image. You want to tilt it and use things, use the straight lines to help yourself, to make things easier and make things more consistent. And then of course we can just come in here and just tweak this last little bit in. Don't obsess. Just let it go. All right. And then we will just cut this off. So I'm just going to drag a shape out and lay it there. And I'm going to convert it to a path, Control K. Click here, select those two objects, and then do path difference. And that's just chopped that right out. And then what I'd like to do probably, if I'm going to cut this, since these are touching, I can just join them. But we'll do that later. But what you do is you select this one and select this one, and then you do path union. And now those are connected shapes. But I'll do that with everything that's overlapping, kind of as a last step. All right, so let's do this C. And we'll pull that down. And we'll scoot this in. And I see that all these in the middle need to be smaller. So I'm going to hold Control and Shift and scale those in to get those close. And I don't know, I was like, in 1988, I was something like 7 years old. So I'm not sure if they had similar tools. But as I do these things, you can kind of see that maybe they really did start with Arial when they went to make this font. And this truly could be the methods. I just think it's interesting the way that this point really ended up super close to that other one. We'll just make that go like that. We're not going to be super picky about this. You can be super picky in yours. Definitely at least want there not to be any hard transitions. I want it to be nice and smooth. Yeah, I think it was really interesting the way that kind of lined up almost perfectly with that inner as I made that transform move earlier. So there's that. Okay. Got this. Yeah. I'm not sure why some of these are by default symmetrical and others aren't. It just must be part of the algorithm when Inkscape converts something from a path. But you definitely want symmetrical nodes or you're going to create these like weird bumps. Okay, there's that. I know this is getting on the longest side, so I'm trying to get it done quick. Yeah, so there's, that case funky. All right, so we'll just grab this. Hey, that was a Shopify sale. I sold a t-shirt just now. And then we'll just take this and drag it over. And we'll take this and we'll find that point. And then we'll take these two and just take them down, because I do think that there's still, there's like a little angle there. So I just want to select off, click, boom, 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 boom. All right, so we're done. And what I'm going to do is just now, select all of this and hit Control. Well, we're just going to do Path Union. And that's going to, wherever there were overlaps, it's just going to connect things. Okay? And then our last step is we'll delete our image. And we will change our fill. We'll select our fill. We'll make it go back to black. And raise the opacity level. And then last but not least, we're going to hit Control-Shift-R and trim it. All right, 30 minutes to a font. There you go. Hey, I hope this helps. And I really appreciate you buying your transfers at 143vinyl.com. And thanks for watching my tutorials. Have a great day. Goodbye.